Hey everybody, my name is LaPrecious, but my new name on here is Reina Preciosa. And today I'm going to be doing a story time called Puerto Rican Papi. And the reason why I call this the Puerto Rican Papi is because this is about a guy that I saw in the past who just came into my future and how I'm really feeling about the situation. So I met up with Puerto Rican Papi around August of last year, and we met through a dating app. We started talking. We noticed we had a lot in common. He liked me. I liked him. So we went ahead to meet up. Hey, beautiful magic. And we met up. Our first date was really cool. We decided to let's see, what did we do? He picked me up from my house and he was staying with his aunt at the time. And so I went over to his aunt's house and we pretty much played board games and talked and had a good conversation and everything. And we was talking and it was cool and whatnot, but he did kind of piss me off a little bit because he had said something that just kind of got on my nerves. And so what he said was that, oh, we was talking about like music. So what kind of music do you like? And I like this, you like that. And he was like, well, I like Latin music, but it's in Spanish and you wouldn't know nothing about that. And I told him, I said, well, what makes you think that I don't know how to speak Spanish or anything? And he was like, you know how to speak it? I said, yeah. He was like, real good. And I said, yeah. He was like, oh, okay. My bad. So I didn't know. But other than that, we kept playing not video games. We played board games until we got tired. And then after that, we just, started talking. And so we started talking, and then we were talking about how he likes to play sports, how I like to play sports, what we were doing with our lives and how our day was. At the time, you guys know I was a secretary at a doctor's office, and I was starting my business and getting that started up, and I was in the process of going to school. And he was in the process of starting his own business and he already had it, but he was trying to look for another job that was going to pay him some more money. And he already had a car and he was thinking about getting a house. So both of us were like on the same page, we were both goal oriented and whatnot. And so that was that. I remember my uncle had a birthday party around that time on that day, and he decided to just take me to the restaurant where my uncle was having a birthday party, and that was that. So, I went ahead, went to the birthday party, had a good time. I talked to my family members and things like that, and I went home. And I think a couple hours later, I think I texted him and I was talking to him or whatever. And so he decided to meet up with me again. And so we met up again that night and we decided to just cruise in his car. And we had like a little movie date night and we went ahead and just watched the movie. And yes, we kissed and we cuddled a lot that night. And that was that. And so the next day, I think I texted him and whatever, and he said that we may be able to hang out, and he had a lot of stuff to do, and he was going to talk to me later. And I went ahead and let that go and let that be, but it was just something that told me in my heart that he wasn't the one for me, or that he wasn't the one for me, or that he was going to do me dirty. He was just going to play me. And he didn't text me back the whole day. He didn't text me back the next day. I just never heard from him again. And so it just really broke my heart that he did that to me, that he ghosted me, that he wasn't talking to me anymore, and that he just wasn't in communications with me anymore. And I know we live in a culture where, right, we live in a culture where it's either the hookup culture, the dating culture of I'll give you everything that's in a boyfriend, but I won't be your boyfriend, or I want you to give me everything that's in a girlfriend, but I don't want you to be my girlfriend type of culture. And I'm a normal person with the same mind, and I always go on the basis of you like me, I like you, we're texting, we're talking, then we're working on something. And if we met up at least more than once and we're both on the same page, we're talking about our lives and what we're going through and what we're dealing with, then we're in a relationship. And And with him, I was heartbroken. I cried, and it took me a long time to get over that because I'm the type of person who's always taken rejection. But when you've been rejected so many times, that's where you start to feel bad about yourself. Because this past season, I'm sure a lot of you know from watching my videos, I've dealt with depression. I've dealt with depression for like the past 10 years, and I really didn't fully recover from my depressive issues until maybe 5 years after my major panic attack that I had, which was a combination of issues with my family, issues with romantic relationships and self esteem, and things like that. And I started getting better, and I started pushing myself a lot better to get things done, to keep my room clean, keep my body clean, keep my spirits up, to always set boundaries and whatnot, and to guard my heart when meeting people and when talking to people so I won't get too involved or too invested for things that are not for me. And so after him, eventually I just moved on. I joined other dating sites. I started talking to other men. And, I got into a short relationship with one man. And I really hate that that didn't work out because I think I kind of pushed him away. Or there was just something about me or about us that just didn't go right. And that ended up, disappearing. And later on I did hook up with somebody, but that somebody just wasn't somebody I needed to be with. They didn't have anything to their name, and they wanted so much from me, and they wanted me to come over all the time, and there was nothing that they could give me. So I just cut them off. And I told myself, I'm hitting 25, 26, 27. I know I want to settle down and get married one day. So I'm like, let's just write out what we want and state what we want. And when we do dating sites and apps, let's just make sure we're clear about what it is that we want. So I've been on this dating site. It was actually the same dating site that I met Puerto Rican Papi on. And I wasn't looking for him or anything like that. I'm like, you know what? Let's just approach this a different way. So I went ahead and, put more pictures up of myself and a couple of pictures up of the food I like to cook to make myself more interesting. And so, I went ahead and did that. I've gotten a lot of responses from men, but of course, all of them or most of them were sexual. And and then I had a few of them ask me things like, "Oh, hey Manny," a lot of things like, "So do you date white men and all this kind of stuff?" And when I get stuff like that on dating apps, it's still amazing to me how so many people are not used to interracial dating or used to them liking women of other races or other ethnicities, and I know everybody doesn't think like me nor date like me, but it gets annoying. I'm like, this is 2020. Everybody doesn't stick to their own color or own race of folks like you do, or like the people you grew up do. It's other people that just believe in mixing, or they like to socialize with people from different communities or different races and nationalities and things like that. So whenever I get hit up with that, or they say things like I've never dated a black girl before, I just don't talk to them because I already know when we have an interaction, there's going to be ignorant comments, ignorant questions, and I just can't date somebody like that. And lo and behold, when I was thinking about Puerto Rican Poppy, because I remember how he made me feel and the type of feelings that came around when that happened. But at the same time, I'm like, I kind of miss him because it wasn't like we fought or we argued or things like that. But we had a good relationship and a good thing going. And lo and behold, he messaged me out the blue. And I did see his page on there, but I just lurked just to be nosy. But I didn't miss him or nothing like that. So I went ahead on with my business. But yeah, so he messaged me and was like, hey, how you been? Blah blah blah. And we talked for about a good part of the day, and we decided to meet up again. Now this time when we met up, it's funny how we are at the same. We're at like the same crossroads in life, where he's at the same crossroads with his family, like I was with mine. And he thought about moving back to Florida because he was originally from Florida. He wasn't even from here. And I told him I thought about moving back to Las Vegas because I said I was going to give Winston-Salem another year. I told him all my gripes and annoyances that I have with Winston-Salem and whatnot. He was agreeing with me. He thought the same thing too. And, we just talked about a lot of stuff. But as I was talking to him, I see how the way we were talking and the way we were socializing, it just what our spirits meshed, but they didn't mesh in a way that I would have wanted them to per se. Because he was saying like, I lost contact with you, I forgot about what happened. I was thinking that he just didn't want to do with me no more. He was ghosting me, and I blocked him, and I moved on with my life. And so I guess it was a reason for us to meet up and to hang out and whatnot at that time. So I just went ahead and, we started talking and things like that. The things that made me see how we weren't on the same paragraph in our page. We're on the same page, but not the same paragraph. It's like with him, he's going to school, I'm going to school, he's working, I'm working, and we're getting everything together. But he smokes weed. I'm not, I don't smoke weed. I drink from time to time, but I don't like people who smoke cigarettes or smoke weed. I hate the smell. I hate the stench, and I hate what weed can do to a person. A lot of people say it's therapeutic, it's healthy, it's medicinal, but I mean, it gives you the munchies, makes you hungry. It can mess with your heart. It can cause you to have strokes. You can have short term memory loss and this buzz of being high and whatnot. And I just don't like that. And he even told me he smoked weed when he was texting me, and that's how he forgot. I'm like, how can you smoke so much weed? You forgot that you was talking to somebody, and then I became an afterthought. You saying you missing me and everything like that, and now you want to just come back into my life and all this kind of stuff. And so I'm like, okay. And then I'm glad I did not have sex with him because if I would have had sex with him, I would feel a whole lot worse than I kind of do now. But we kissed and cuddled and all that kind of stuff like we did before. And I'm just, and then another thing that kind of got me was his family too. Because before I date somebody, I always like to look at the kind of family they come from. With his family and mine, the connection we have is that we're like the black sheep and or the unique ones. And based off the stuff that he's told me, it's like he had a real rough life in Florida and he moved up here to get away from that. And his family were like strict Pentecostals. And he said that they didn't allow him to be at the house that long. Whenever he would visit his parents, they would say he had to leave by a certain time. And then him being up here with his aunt, at the time we talked, we went over to her house and whatnot. And then he said when he moved out and got his house, he was talking about with me, he ended up losing it. He couldn't keep it paid up. And he couldn't even move back with that aunt because she told him he couldn't come back because she said, once you move out and you grown, don't come back. So he was homeless for a minute and then he had to come back to another aunt's house in town who actually stays in the same area that I do, little did I know. And this aunt won't even let nobody over to the house. And I'm saying to myself that, and he has a sister that lives in Florida whose niece just loves him and adores him and stuff. And I'm saying to myself, and I don't want to say this out loud when I was with them, I want to say, your family don't seem like they really care too much for you. I can't lie, I smoke the green. Okay, okay, well that's cool. I don't mind if you smoke it or not. I just know as for me, I don't like smoking or anything like that. But yeah, and I'm saying to myself, I'm like, your family don't really care too much for you. Because I'm like, you got parents that when you go over there to see them and whatnot, they put you out the house by a certain time. And then he told me that he calls them to check on them, but they never call him to see how he's doing. And then you got an aunt that won't even let you come back over to her house. Now you staying with this aunt who's stricter than the last aunt, and she won't even let you have no company or nobody over to the house. I'm like, you doing a whole lot for people that just don't seem to care about you. And it's like they only want you there if you're serving them or giving them something and letting them control you. But it's like if you want to have your own life and do your own stuff, they won't let you. They're gonna kick you out and not let you have no place to stay. Because my ideas of family is different, especially based on how I've been treated by my own. I just believe that in life, unfortunately, a lot of us are not born into loving, caring, and preserving families. Where if we're not favored by our families or we're not given everything by the family and whatnot, we have to build up our own lives. And yeah, and I thought about that too, that he might be bringing on trouble. Because I remember talking to my friend, I said there could be a reason why they don't want him around as much. And sometimes the way I feel about family is like if they're not accepting you and embracing you and being with you or whatever like you are to them, then maybe you need to build your own self up and move out, get your own place to stay and build your own life and have your own family. Because I've even come to terms with that with myself and my family. And I felt like he and I had that connection as well. But he kept saying, that's my family, they're my parents and stuff. But my thing is, if this is your family, they're your parents, you're giving so much to them by being there for them, calling, paying their bills and stuff. But you had an aunt that wouldn't even let you come back to stay, and you was homeless. So I'm like, how can you love people and give to people like that and call them family, and they let you be homeless like that? I mean, that's not love to me. And I've just learned to stop. And I've even had to realize and come to terms with this now because I think that that's my problem. And why I have issues with dating is because hurt people. But at the same time, you have to stop giving to people that are giving to you 1 minute and then they're taking from you the next. Because I've experienced this in my life and a lot of other people have, where you have people who like to say, "Oh, come to me. I love you. I want to be with you. I want you to be with me. Come talk to me. Come sit down. Eat this, eat that." They're making you feel loved and they're making you feel wanted and needed. But in another case scenario, you come around and say, "Oh, hey, you want to do something?" "Nah, I'm good. I don't want to go over there. I don't want to be with you," and all that. Or if they don't verbally say it, they're rolling their eyes, not speaking, ignoring you on purpose. They're talking to other people in your presence and they see you trying to talk to them and you're trying to be interested in them and you're trying to get their attention and stuff. And they know you want to feel wanted and loved, but they're not giving it to you because they care about themselves and don't care about nobody else and they care about what they got going on. And then it's like when they see you hurt and they see you not coming around anymore, they want to come check up on you and say, "Well, why you not talking to me no more? You ain't said nothing to me. You ain't did this to me or nothing like that." And I'm like, well, because when I come around you and when I talk to you and whatnot, you act like you don't want to talk to me. You act like you don't want to come and see me. You act like you don't want nothing to do with me. So why should I want something with you? And they make it confusing because it's like 1 minute, because it's like 1 minute they want you around, but it's like when you want to be around them, they don't want you around. And it's like I'm tired of that confusion that people like to create when they want you, but then they don't want you. And when you don't want them, they want you, but when you don't want them, it's a problem. And it's like, oh, why you acting like that? Because you acting like that with me. And I've noticed that a lot of the men that have attempted to be in relationships with me and have attempted to want me, they've been in predicaments like that with their families or with people in their lives. And I want to say to them, I'm like, you got a woman right here that wants to love you and care for you and be with you. And I know this is mimicking my behavior and how I treat other people. So I know I'm telling on myself when I tell the story. But you got somebody right here, right here, and to be with me. And And right here, and right me, I see your comment, Viera. I'm gonna get to it though, but you got somebody right here, and you got somebody who wants to be with you and whatnot, and you steady worried about this family and caring about this family. That's showing you as clear as day. They don't want nothing to do with you. And the only time they want you around is when you paying their bills and helping them with something and being all up in their face and in their business. But when you got something going on and when you got something serious going on in your life, they don't care, or they just choose to come in because they just decide on that day to come in and be with you. Because I'm telling y'all what I know. I'm not talking out of my ass about this or nothing, or making any of this stuff up. I see things for what they are, and I feel like that's what it is with him, because I feel like your parents are showing you as clear as day they don't want to be what you want them to be for you. And that could hurt a lot of times. And I feel the need to be honest in this video about this, because I hear this a lot from people and their parents and their family members. They they've been a child, their whole lives. They could be 40, 50 years old, but for whatever reason, the parents just had so much focus on another child or another relative or a cousin. And it's like we've done so much to ourselves to get you to see me, to hear me, to pay attention to me, to love me, and to give me this. And it's like, for whatever reason, they've been mad at us, they've cussed us out, or they somehow just ignored us, made it seem like it was our fault for wanting to be loved and to not get that. And it's like, and that can be hard, coming to that realization that your parents or your family members are not who you've always wanted them to be. And I feel like with him, that's what he needs to realize. And I'm like, at least you got a sister and a niece that love you. His niece just adores him. And I'm like, then maybe that's the only family you need to be concerned about. And since you're a grown man and you got your business and got your car and got some stuff going, just try it again. And then when you got your stuff together and make some more money, and some money that's sturdy enough, then go right ahead and get you a wife and get married and have kids, and then you'll have your life. But I can honestly say now, one thing people don't understand is that your children may come from you, but they aren't you. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Because I've just decided to stop coming to terms, not coming to terms, but I've just decided to stop trying to figure out why people are the way that they are, where did it come from, and why are they like that. Because sometimes you could be wondering forever why people are the way that they are, and who did this and who did that. And it's like, if people show you who they are, believe them. If that's what you want, if that's the type of person you want to be with, then more power to you. But if that's not resonating with you or clicking with you or matching with you and whatever, then you gotta cut it loose and you gotta let it go. And yeah, it may hurt and it may be, disheartening or whatever, but you gotta let it go. Cause I've come to grips with my family a long time ago. And yes, sometimes it is difficult for me to come to grips with some stuff during the day, because it's like I want to talk about things or say things or explain things, and it's not coming to pass, or I can't talk about it, and there's no type of meeting ground or common ground with that. And I know God, He hears my heart, and He hears me sometimes, because there have been times where I felt like that, and I got a phone call from somebody or a message and things like that. So yeah, God sees me and He hears me and He knows how I feel, because there are a lot of us out here that for whatever reason God just made us so different, but we're indifferent to, the families that had us. And we have to go out and find our own lives and our own niches and people to fit in with. And it could be hard even getting along with siblings and cousins and nieces and stuff like that, because we always have this question as to why is it that you were accepted, you fit in, you clicked in, and you got to be raised and catered to and babied and favored, but I didn't. And it's always a conversation that nobody wants to have, nobody wants to talk about, nobody wants to experience. But I mean, it's real. Because a lot of parents, and I've had this conversation plenty of times, they don't want to admit that they're not always the best people. Because at the end of the day, we like to see family members or family as gods, but they're human too. They're not going to do the right things. They're not going to make the right decisions. And yes, sometimes they are going to show partiality or favoritism and do you dirty and lie, cheat, and steal. And you're their child. And and if you come from families like that or have parents like that, it's something you just have to accept and move on from. And if you choose to have children, just be the parent that you know you should have had and be the right parent to have for your kids, even though it wasn't given to you. And so yeah, that's just pretty much, what's transpired since then. Because I just felt the need to do this story time because, it just resonates with a lot of people because I've seen like the videos, the relationship advice videos, and the videos about hypergamy and femininity and all this stuff. And a lot of us women have gone through this stuff with men. But I just think the best thing for me to do now is to focus on my YouTube channel, focus on myself, focus on my business and focus on school because I really do feel like I'm gonna have something big in the long run. And I know all of this is just gonna be a lesson learned and a stepping stone and like my building block that's gonna make me better as a person. And that's pretty much, all I have to say about the story time when it comes to Puerto Rican Poppy because I just feel like, we're we're one and the same, but we don't need to be together. We don't. We don't need to be together. Cause I feel like if he had his stuff together and realized that about his family, then we would have been able to be something. But it's not gonna happen. Okay, I'm gonna read a comment out loud, and Louise, you're gonna have to retype it because my live chat just won't pop all the way out for whatever reason. Let me mess with this screen and see if I can get it. Think what is this F11? I don't even have no F11 on this computer. I don't. Let's see. And see, this is why I need a brand new computer because I'm so sick of this Chromebook. Okay, back to the young, and some women are interested in settling down. It's just our generation. Yeah, it is. It really is because in this generation, and I've only noticed this with the dating app culture, not so much as the dating in person culture. Because I want to say I've had better experiences dating in person than dating online. Because it just seems like on the internet, it's a lot easier to meet people and to talk to people through the internet. But the concept of reality is what's missing when meeting people from the internet because it's like, hey, how are you? Conversation. Okay, I'm gonna pick you up at 7 o'clock. We get in the car, we go to a restaurant or a park or a gym, somewhere like that, and we talk and we meet up. And it's like we got married and had a relationship in one day, and then the next day it's like you don't hear from them again. And I don't know if that's coming from because a lot of people, and I've noticed this even when I was a teenager before internet dating became so popular, a lot of people used to say, well, dating online, that's for old people that's lonely and can't meet nobody. Or it was always seen as dating people on the internet wasn't real. And that there's a difference between having an internet boyfriend and a real life boyfriend. Because I remember on IMVU, y'all remember that social media network they had like the computerized people and you could put them in like tattoos and different hairstyles and clothes and all that type of stuff and IMVU that still exists. And they got another game that's like that too because I saw Tokyo Vanity on her page. Yeah. Okay, phone, come on, let's go. Let's go. Okay, here we go. Now, what is that thing called? Okay, I found it. Not quite. Here we go. But yeah, it's called SL, and it looks just like, I'm gonna show y'all. And see, it looks just like IMVU, because that's exactly how it looked. It's like you can design the people. You either wanted them to. They would have like the clothes and stuff like people do in real life, but it just be through the computer. And I remember at that time, I had a real boyfriend from there, because a lot of people were saying they had a boyfriend in person and a boyfriend on IMVU, and they wanted to know if that was cheating. I've never been the type to be fake. Like that's never been into me to talk to somebody online and just keep it online, then talk to people in person, just keep it in person. Because nowadays people have gone to jail over the stuff they do online. People have committed suicide from getting cyberbullied on MySpace, back when MySpace was popping. Facebook, everything. I remember one time they had this girl's mama get on MySpace or Facebook and bully this girl that was messing with her daughter so much, and the girl committed suicide. And I remember there was this news coverage on it. I don't know if the lady went to jail or not, but yeah, I'm like, there have been a lot of people that have been affected in real life by social media. You're gonna have people argue in the comments on Facebook Live, IG Live, all of that, and these people ended up dead in real life. And you got like the wars and stuff. Like they had this thing called the Arab Spring, which yeah, about the Arab Spring when like 2014 or 2015. There were a lot of Middle Eastern people talking about like the terror attacks and stuff on Facebook, and they said that's what caused like widespread news coverage on what was going on in the Middle East. So I'm like, y'all sit here and say the internet is just a computerized system in a computer and it's not real, but look at the real life events that are happening because of the internet. So how can y'all say these people y'all talk to through the internet ain't real? So that's always been my mindset, because I've never been the type of person to play with people or disrespect people or to even do that catfishing stuff. Like on a TV show, these people be pretending to be other people for years and years on end. Then the other people dating them don't know. And I'm not gonna judge these people too harshly. Because I remember being a teenager, I dated a lot of men online, and sometimes they would just have like a picture of a tattoo as their profile picture, or sometimes it would be stuff. And I wasn't smart enough to. Well, back then it was different because FaceTime didn't even exist back then on the iPhone 4s or the iPhone 3s. And that's when Apple was just starting to get popular back in like '06, '07. So when I dated online back then, I just believed like pictures and all of that. Because back then, you either had to have a laptop to do a webcam, or you had to have one of those portable webcams that you plugged in the port and put it on top of your computer and you connected it and stuff, or you had Yahoo Messenger back when it was popping. And y'all know Yahoo Messenger don't even exist anymore. They took the whole system away. So y'all remember we used to have like that instant messenger on Yahoo Messenger where you had like the avatar and the little chat boxes and stuff. And I remember you used to could do the chat rooms with like different topics and people and stuff. They're gonna deal with because Yahoo now. I think people just use Yahoo for news and all that kind of stuff. As far as like communicating and chatting and all that stuff, I think due to the lack of popularity and its popularity died down, they don't they don't do it anymore. So it's just non-existent. But yeah, so that's how I've always viewed the internet. It's just okay, Raina. I have this as some from a real Puerto Rican Papi. Dump him. You deserve better. Oh my gosh, I can't read your comment, Louise. Oh well, but I got what you were saying anyway. Facebook is boring and trashy. Yeah, Facebook is. They ruin Facebook when they try to combine Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook all in one. I'm like, Facebook's created IG. I didn't know that till I started seeing Facebook pop up on Instagram as soon as you touch the screen. Cause see, wait a minute. Okay, let's see if I can get it again. I can't get it now. Okay, it ain't popping up. Cause sometimes it'll pop up Instagram and then you'll be able to see it. And so some of the stuff used to come up on my timeline and I'm sick of it. To be honest, I only go on Facebook to promote my YouTube channel and to get ideas for business purposes and stuff because Facebook, it's changed a lot because I prefer Snapchat and IG because to me, the less the better. Facebook is just so cluttered because you got news, then you got the stories, then you got the groups, then you have the long overused timelines. And it's like if people comment on your page and leave gifts and all this stuff, it looks like it's too much. And so that's why when I get on Facebook, I just go on like my different Facebook groups for YouTubers and whatnot. And that's just pretty much, what I do and everything. So that's pretty much what Facebook helps me with. I just go on there to maybe talk a little bit and promote my YouTube channel, and then that's pretty much it. But yeah, so Facebook, yeah, I miss the old Facebook back in '06 when everybody started using it and lied and said it was 14 when it was really 12, just so they could have a Facebook page. And I remember some people on MySpace would say like they was 99 or 98 years old because back then they had an age requirement where you had to be 14, 15 to have a MySpace and stuff, and everybody lied and said they was like 15, 16 years old. But yeah. But Facebook, I mainly hear like our parents or grandparents talk about Facebook. Like with us, we on Snapchat, Instagram, and WhatsApp. I noticed that a lot of non-Americans tend to use WhatsApp as opposed to Americans. I guess because it's easier to talk to people from other countries through like the telephone and stuff like that. And so that's and I talk to people from a lot of countries, so that's I think that's what it's used for. But other than that, I just like Instagram and Snapchat because it doesn't really require you too much on your page, and it's just pictures and comments. And I even like how they have the messages with the little paper crane at the top, and you just click on it and go into the DMs and type and whatever. And that's that. So another announcement that I want to make before I go is I will be in Puerto Rico tomorrow. Woo! Yes, we're going to be in Puerto Rico tomorrow. I'll touch down. I will do a video tomorrow. I'm going to do two videos tomorrow because I don't arrive in Puerto Rico until 2:15 p.m. Then I have to go to my hotel room and set up and then change out of my clothes. I'm actually going to have a conversation with y'all and do a get ready with me at the same time. And I'm going to do a hotel room tour too. And I know that Love and Hip Hop Miami is going to be premiering tomorrow as well. So when that airs, I'm going to go ahead and do a YouTube video about that so I can, keep my channel up and stuff. And the next day, which will be Tuesday, I'll be in Puerto Rico, and I'm going to be going to Piñones and Loíza. And I will be doing a tour. I decided I'm going to just bring my computer with me because for whatever reason, with my phone, iPhones are good and everything. Sometimes I feel like it's either the system, or since this is a refurbished phone, I guess that's why it's so hard loading up my videos and stuff to YouTube, because for whatever reason it just won't let me. So that's what I pretty much do. So I'll just bring my computer with me, and then I'll just sit and talk and about the things that I've learned while I've been in Loisa. And I really want to see, and I think what I might have to do with my iPhone is just keep it hooked up to the charger and then try to upload some stuff on my camera, because I still have that video of me in the Venezuelan market in Doral when I was in Miami. And I really want to load that up so you guys can see what it looks like and how I bought the chocolate and everything. So I'm just gonna really work with my phone. But I honestly think if this wasn't a refurbished phone, it was brand new, I don't think I probably had that many issues. So yeah. So do you guys have any questions for me before I go? Uh-huh, uh-huh, I like it. Uh-huh, uh-huh. That's the way. Uh-huh, uh-huh. I like it. Uh-huh, uh-huh. You know what? I've been watching video after video about Puerto Rico. I do want to go to Mexico this year because Tulum, Mexico looks really beautiful. I love the way the beach looks and everything. And Quintana Roo, I want to go there too. Because I'm thinking that I've always said I wanted to go to another country for Christmas. And I think that's where I want to go this year for Christmas. So, did you hear about Blue Ivy Carter and the jerks who are calling her ugly? Yeah, I did hear about that, and I was going to do a YouTube video on it. But I feel like now this story just came and went so fast. And that's the thing I hate about pop culture. Stuff be happening so fast. If you don't do a video right then and there, everybody just moves on from it. But when it comes to, and I even saw the comments people made about, what's that girl name that got mad? Her name is just coming to me. What is her name? They got called Rock Rollers. Tayana Taylor. And it was Tayana Taylor. And because I remember the main ones that were talked about was Blue Ivy, Tayana Taylor, and Ari Lennox. Yeah, that's her name. Yeah, and I'm saying to myself, it's wrong and it's rude, but I'm not surprised because people. I mean, this is social media. This is the internet. And that's just the world we live in now. People are so bold and upfront and honest about how they feel. They feel like if somebody look ugly, oh you ugly. Somebody got a big booty, oh you got a big booty. Somebody got this, oh you got that. It's like we love to be vocal and bold about anything and don't care about how it makes people feel. Now, a lot of people took this as a racial undertone, calling Tayana Taylor and Ari Lennox Rockwilders. I just feel like we need to start blocking people that say those types of things. But at the same time, I feel like we need to start doing more soul searching as to where this stuff is coming from and to stop promoting it. I see, even with Blue Ivy, the black news reporter from Essence and the white lady was calling her ugly, saying she's taking too much from her daddy's side, that when she's older, she'll probably get plastic surgery. I'm like, that's a child. Like, who says stuff like that about a child? We all look like our parents. We look like a combination of our parents. We look like our daddies. We look like our mamas. And it's common for most women to look like their daddies. That's why they say, daddy's girl, mama's boy, because the daddy looks like, I mean, his daughter and the girl looks like her daddy. That's where that comes from. So that was stupid, number one. And number two, I'm just really sick and tired of people always picking on black women. And Ari Lennox, I did see where she was saying how you never see Hispanic women done like this and you don't. You never see white women done like this and you don't. You never see Asian mixed women done like this and you don't. And I really feel like as black people, and some people might get mad at this, but I feel like as black people, we need to stop perpetuating this. Light skin is better than dark skin. If you're dark skinned, you got to mate with somebody white or light to have mixed children. Non-black people are better than black people, and we perpetuate ideas like that, and we perpetuate attitudes like that, and then we'll even mistreat dark skinned folks over light skinned folks, and then we'll invite the mixed people and the light people and the non-black people to come in jobs and take over, in schools and take over, in churches and families. And if anybody that's not light skinned, mixed, or not black got something to say about it. Oh, you wrong. You don't need to be talking. She fine. She got it. You mad because she better than you and all this kind of stuff. And it's like when we call stuff out or say what needs to be said, black people dog us out, chew us out, talk to us like dogs. And y'all steady let the Hispanics and the whites and the Asians and the mixed people and all the other non-black people rise up. But y'all forget they take cues from y'all. And this is what I don't understand about black people. Y'all don't understand that the way that we treat each other as black folks, non-black people look at that. That's why when black folks come around white people, Hispanic people, Asian people, we already know the protocol. If we say something about them, it's a fight. We try to come in their mix, it's a fight. We try to take over their jobs, take over their positions, take over their money, take over their children and their men and their women and stuff. Oh, it's a fight. But they know that by us being so discombobulated and not together and not on one accord and not where we need to be, oh, these people are disrupt. We can come in and take their stuff and do this and do that. They so busy fighting each other, they won't know nothing. And that's exactly what they're doing now. And then on top of that, we don't even understand that with this colorism stuff of how we treat lighter skinned mixed people, non-black people better than common black folks, the non-black people come in and do it. And that's why people like Sin Santana and Cardi B, that's why they're so confident when they say, black men, they want us. They worship us. They come after us. They like us better than y'all because we sit up here and we praise that type of mentality and that behavior, and they take cues from it. And that's why when Hispanic women come around, sometimes they think they're better than black women, white women, Asian women, and sometimes mixed women do it too. So, like the saying goes, if you want people to respect you, you have to respect yourself. And this goes for black people in general. If we're complaining about non black people mistreating us and hurting us and talking about us so bad, then maybe we need to stop talking about each other so bad. Maybe we need to stop treating each other like dogs. We need to stop calling each other monkeys and niggas and rock wallers and nappy headed hoes and bitches and all that kind of stuff. And then if we would stop doing this stuff to ourselves, that way when non-black people and not and Hispanics and mixed people, whatever, come around us, they know not to say that stuff to us. Because if we don't accept it from each other, we shouldn't accept that from other people. Oh, some editor. Oh yeah, y'all talking about what happened and everything. And then I even had heard that it was from Essence. I think the black dude that made the comment about Blue Ivy was from Essence, which is a black magazine. And that just goes to go back to what I just said, that these types of comments are coming from us. It's like, we expect it from, white people and other non-black people because, it just is what it is when it comes to racism from them. But now this stuff is coming from us. And it's like, and then y'all wonder why when we go to places we don't get respect, people don't treat us right because look at how we do each other. And you have so many black folks that get mad at this, but black people have fallen so short from glory. We always like to say that, especially in church. But black people have fallen so short of glory, and we've fallen so much from what we used to be, that this is what it's come to now. That if black people would just start loving our blackness and embracing it, and stop trying to be so concerned with lightening the race and coloring the race and all this type of stuff, then we wouldn't have these issues. And that's really what I feel like it is, because I've seen this whole conversation through 2019 about colorism and dark skin versus light skin, biracial people being so praised every time there's a TV show casting with a black family. They're always doing a light skinned wife, dark husband, and a mixed looking child. And I'm like, black people, it's like there's only so much we can say until we get down to the nitty gritty as to where it's coming from. And I feel like it's coming from us. Because, black people, we have to understand that we're not slaves anymore. When we were slaves and that one drop rule was put on us, and the light skin versus dark skin stuff was put on us due to us being raped and sexually taken advantage of by slave masters, and mixed children came about, and they were favored over the dark skinned ones, and they were allowed to have freedom and stuff like that. And black people have to understand we're not under oppression anymore. We're not slaves anymore. We can go to school, go to college, and have rights and laws and stuff like that. But we have to erase this mindset that we have the power now. We had a black president, for crying out loud. So we made it already. And I feel like as black people, instead of us perpetuating this colorist and featurist attitude, it's time for us to change. Because if we don't change, we can't sit back and complain about white folks and non-black folks not liking us, and we don't even like ourselves. But yeah, the Blue Ivy situation, it's really bad. It's really bad because Blue Ivy, I remember they used to pick on her about her hair and why doesn't Beyonce fix her hair up or anything like that. And I remember Whitney Houston's daughter, Barbara Christina, back when she was a child. They used to pick on her about her head and stuff. But one thing I will say, I personally feel like if your parents are billionaires or millionaires, your hair does need to be styled. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say about that. It do need to be styled, need to be fixed. Because if they're paying money for all these hairstyles and stuff, you do need to look together. But people coming after Blue Ivy and bullying her and things like that, it don't make sense. Now Justin J, who's a YouTuber, he talked about it in one of his videos, and he said this is why famous people don't put their children on social media. And I used to didn't understand it, but now I do. Because he says that how do you think she would feel since she's coming up in age, getting an Instagram page and getting a Twitter, and she's seeing stuff like this and how this will mess with her self esteem and things like that. And that's why you do see a lot of these black celebrities bleaching their skin. Because I've seen the comments. You got white people calling them monkeys and big nose and big lips and stuff. And I go on these people's accounts, and these people be white saying this type of stuff, or they're them trolling pages that got over 1 million followers but no pictures and maybe two posts. And I don't understand how you can have no face and so much mouth and all these people following you. But that's the devil within itself. So I guess that's why their page is like that. But it's just ridiculous. And Beyonce, and I did read your comment, Manny, about Jay Z or Beyonce would say something would say something. Beyonce and Jay Z, they are real nonchalant about a lot of things. And Beyonce, from what I've read, she's learned to not say so much in interviews and stuff. I like Beyonce and her music. and I like the stances that she takes. But I'm like, Beyonce, say something, because it's looking like you're a mime now. You dancing and singing and stuff, but it's like when people got something to say, you uploading all these stylish pictures with no comments or captions on your Instagram page, and it's like you never say anything. Now Jay-Z, I saw a video of him where somebody was trying to take a picture whenever of Beyonce. He was like, "Hey, take that thing down," and stuff. So I'm like, "Okay, Jay-Z, I'm finally see you do something." But I'm like, Beyonce, you need to say something. Like, that's your child. Like, yeah, we know you Queen Bee and you got all these albums and you doing it for black people, but I'm like, say something about your daughter. Like, release a public statement or something and say, I'm tired of, because you be bossing up and cussing and saying all this little trap rap stuff in your songs to try to get a rise out of people and everything. But just go ahead and say something about your daughter. Like, you have what? Let's check the stats and see how many followers Beyonce got on Instagram. Because y'all know every time she drops something to say something, everybody always on it. So let's see, Beyonce. Okay. 137 million followers. And Nicki Minaj got 100. So I'm like, you got all these people following you on Instagram and you don't follow nobody, of course. And, and it's like, you need to say something. Like, defend your child. And don't be sitting there taking pictures and smiling and doing all the stuff with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z cheated on you. But I figured the best way to fight that would be to fight him in his pockets by making this whole Lemonade album about him cheating on you and Becky with the good hair and everything. Like, say something about your daughter, Beyonce, because I'm like, this is getting real old. You making music and posing pictures and stuff, but when somebody got something to say, you ain't saying nothing. And that's another issue that people in the black community have. It's like we like to be so loud when it comes to ratchet and petty stuff, but when it's time to say something or speak up on what's right and what's wrong, now everybody want to be quiet. And then it's like when we do say something about how we need to fix this and how we need to fix that, now everybody, including people in our own community, they want to fight us. So, I'm like, Beyonce, babe, you need to open your mouth and say something, because this is like Blue Ivy has been bullied. Blue Ivy has been bullied since she was 2 years old. She has. And the thing is, Beyonce is being more open with Rummy and Sir. Yeah, that's the twins' name. And both of them look like Jay-Z and Beyonce. Now it seems like the girls, they tend to take after their daddy, because Blue Ivy, she has her daddy's features, but you see Beyonce and stuff. And even with Rumi, however you pronounce her name, she looks like Jay-Z. And Sir, the boy, looks more like Beyonce. But I'm like, that's what people look like. Is it true that Becky with the good hair was a diss towards Maya? At first I heard it was Rachel Ray. And I don't see how Rachel Ray got mixed in with all of this. But I never did hear about it being Maya. Now Maya, I will say, back in the day, that Maya slept around a whole lot. They said she slept around a whole lot. And it even got to a point where it almost messed up her career, because I think 50 Cent or Ja Rule, Rachel Roy. Yeah, Rachel Roy. I said Rachel Ray. Rachel Roy. Yeah, they did say it was her, but I never heard nothing about Maya. But Maya, she used to have a bad rep in the 90s about sleeping around with a lot of artists and stuff, and about messed her up. But thankfully, her music was so good, and she was able to mix it up with R&B and pop and all that stuff. People didn't really, pay attention to that, and they just stayed focused on the music. I do falling for you. I know y'all hear that music. That's my brother playing that music in the background. He has like an old soul and a new soul because one minute he listening to trap and emo rappers, and he's listening to Tevin Campbell and Joe and Usher. So Rachel Ray, the cool lady. Yeah, the cool lady. The cool lady. Cool lady. I heard because Jay trying to get with Maya and she curving and Beyonce got with Jay and she got the females kicked off the rock label of even blackball. Well, I didn't know until I saw Impressive's video about Tierra Marie. And they said, because you remember at the time back in 2005, 6, you had Tierra Marie and Rihanna be signed to Rockefeller Records. And Tierra Marie was even seen as the first lady. You know, they called her the first lady of Rockefeller. And she had that song called How to Make a Girl Feel. And then she had that song called No Daddy. But they said Beyonce was the one that picked Rihanna to be the main focus over Tierra Marie because she said that Rihanna had that around the way girl Caribbean feel to her and she was different. And that's why Jay-Z had put more focus on Rihanna instead of Tierra Marie. Because Tierra Marie, I hate to say it, but she really got done dirty a little bit with her music career. Because I felt like if she would have kept going, and I didn't know her and Ray J was going out together, but I feel like Ray J, he wasn't the one to marry, especially after Kim Kardashian. Because y'all know, whenever anybody messes with a man that's gonna be with a Kardashian, they just in for trouble. Because those Kardashian women, they just date them and suck all the juice and stuff out of them and just throw them out. And whatever woman they get with, they just mess them up. And so I feel like Tierra Marie, if she would have just kept doing music and just maybe got a new manager and if she would have just got a new manager and got a new label and whatnot and if she would have did that, that would have been better. But I remember she had that song called Sponsor, and this was back when MySpace, because MySpace was like the saving grace for a lot of these new R&B artists, because that's how I learned about a lot of this stuff was R&B, and it was MySpace and YouTube, because that was when people really started doing YouTube channels in '06 and '07. And so a lot of those kind of they was able to make it through that era once the video shows like 106 Park and In the Basement with Big Tigger and Cedar's World and all of them shows started kind of going downhill due to the internet and all this stuff going on with music. And so yeah. But yeah, that's what I feel like with Tierra Marie. But Beyonce and Jay-Z and people, I remember people used to call them relationship goals. And I'm like, I don't know. I've never been the one to, well, I'll take that back. One time I did get a little jealous and whatever of this relationship that was out a few years ago. But other than that, it's like Jay-Z and Beyonce to me, they are a couple and they're a business, but it's just a facade. I mean, that's what they give me as a couple. They're just a facade. They just do all this stuff for looks. That's how I really feel about it. They just do a lot of this stuff for looks, and it's made them, a whole lot of money. So at least, they made $1 off of it with the on the run tours and the albums and stuff. Yeah, like the relationship goals, people didn't start doing that till what, 2015, 16. It's like, bam, we got a baby. Baby goals. Bam, I got a house on the hills. Goals. Bam, I got a relationship. Goals. Bam, I got the Giuseppe's Zanardi shoes or the Louboutin red bottoms. Red bottoms. That was like the shoe to have. Everybody had to run out and get it. And I've seen Louboutin shoes, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. A lot of this designer stuff I see that costs so much money, to me, it's a waste of money to even pay that much on it. Cause I when I lived in Las Vegas, they had this mall called the Fashion Mall, and they got Fendi, Gucci, Prada, all that stuff in there. Them pom poms people be having on their pocketbooks with the little poof balls and stuff that cost like $10, $15 at one of these like thrift stores. Fendi and Gucci be selling for like $1,200 for some fur. $1,200 for a little poof ball of fur. Same thing with the shoes. Like these shoes I got for Christmas probably cost about what, $10, $15. A Gucci shoe that had the little Gucci fur and the emblem and stuff on it, 800 or maybe $1,500. And I'm like, y'all have so much and trying to build, like you're gonna have ups and downs, like being in a relationship and trying to build with some hard work, like you are going to have to go through ups and downs. Yeah, that's true. And then one thing that's scary is with Dr. Phil. I've noticed that on Dr. Phil lately, you have these people that come from good backgrounds. They're college educated. They want to be trap rappers, getting tattoos on their eyes and popping Molly, getting high. I'm like, y'all can have that little fake lifestyle if y'all want to. Because the thing about the internet now is that not only are people becoming famous, but they're getting exposed too. Because a lot of these people, like Love and Hip Hop, Housewives, Cribs, all these little shows that have come out through the years where people have seen these $1 million houses and cars and stuff like that, they're fake. These people be renting these cars, renting these necklaces, renting these hats and all types of stuff. And I'm like, y'all don't even understand, like common people or regular people. We get so jealous and envious of these folks on our cell phones that these people don't be paying their light bills, car notes, nothing. Jim Jones and Chrissy, for example, from Love and Hip Hop New York, he was buying her all them bags and purses and shoes and stuff, and they lost two houses due to him blowing it on $1,500 and $1,200 bags. And a lot of these people that be famous from IG and TV and music, they have poor money management skills. These are people that are used to living from hand to mouth or on food stamps, or if not that lifestyle. They used to having parents and family members train them up and spoil them, and they get all this money and don't know how to spend it. They're millionaires one year and on their way to welfare the next year. And people who just follow these people on IG, scrolling up through the comments and stuff, they don't even know what these people are enduring just to have all this stuff. So I just feel like now, since the internet has shown us the good, the bad, and the ugly, people in everyday life, we just need to do what feels right for us. Live our own lives, have our own goals, have our own set of friends, like what we like and do what we want to do. And stop trying to be like everybody else. And I even want to tie in Barbara Christina and Nick Gordon. Nick Gordon, her ex boyfriend, was found dead the other day from a drug overdose. And I feel like all of that stuff happened because of Whitney. People fail to realize that when you raise children around your bad habits, they pick up on that. And if they don't have somebody there telling them no, or telling them to have your own life, this ain't the road for you, this is the choice I've made, you don't have to make these choices. I feel like she wouldn't have ended up like that And even with Nick Gordon being her Playboy brother and stuff, some people said it was nasty and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like, this is Bobby and Whitney. Wasn't nothing off limits or pristine or Christ like about the household. Just because Whitney and her mama was a gospel singer and sung in church, that don't mean nothing. Everybody who knows Whitney did it all. She did it all. She was with men, she was with women, she was cheating, Bobby was cheating. I mean, doing drugs, sex, rock and roll. She did it all. So Whitney wasn't all that innocent. Or the American sweetheart that Clive Davis wanted to sell that to people when he signed her to Atlantic. So, it's sad that it's happened like that, but it's just a prime example that just because our parents are the way that they are, or just because the people around us are like that, doesn't mean that their route is for us. Whitney Houston died, and her daughter died the exact same way that she did. High on drugs, dead in the bathtub. And I mean, she did, and her daughter was what, 22? Because her daughter was a year younger or older than me. And so it's like, what? And that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all sitting up here getting jealous over YouTubers and Instagram people and stuff, and these people don't even be together for 5 months, 8 months, 2 years down the road. Or these people be ending up dead on the street somewhere because they trying to live up to a lifestyle that they themselves can't even live up to, and it's killing them. Because I know what it's like to compete against people that's becoming more popular than me or getting more likes and stuff than me. It's tiresome because when you see them come up, oh, I gotta get this hairstyle next. I gotta get this jewelry, get this tattoo, get this and get that. And you catch yourself playing catch up and everything. And then before you know it, you broke and out your mind and out of money and you look crazy. And then people don't see how the psychological and the emotional part plays a part in that because you trying to live up to an image that other people like you for versus being yourself, and it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Now, Chameleonaire, I've never really known that about him saving up his money and everything. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say about my story time. Don't forget to like, leave a comment in the comment section, and have a good day.